All right, let's move to our top story. This is an interesting and very important story because it's to do with multiple things. Number one, it's to do with Micromax. At one time, it was called the number one brand. I mean, some people say it was, some people say it wasn't, but it was right there at the top, the number one brand in the country in terms of phone sales. Well, more or less absolutely and totally wiped out. Now they're coming back, and they're coming back because there's been this entire surge and current of nationalism, be Indian, buy Indian, and all of that. And they came in with a very, very negative campaign, a Chini Come kind of a campaign, which is, reduce the Chinese brands in India. Got a lot of publicity for it, but also got severely criticized. I spoke with Rahul Sharma, the main person behind Micromax, and he did say that it seemed like that was a bit of a mistake because he kept talking about, Rajiv, that was the past, let's look into the future. He did talk about how these phones are coming in, first two phones, big portfolio coming in later. But today we're going to do something very interesting on the show. We're going to actually review these two phones, obviously, but we're going to review them with one caveat, and that is we will not look at this being a Micromax phone or any other. We'll just say these two phones, if they were coming from any other brand also, it doesn't matter. The nationalism card thrown out, the entire Chini Come card thrown out. If you were to buy a phone purely based on specs, price, value for money, the whole ratio of hardware to software, are these phones actually good?
Micromax is back, and how? The Indian smartphone manufacturer is making a comeback with two new phones in the affordable Android phone space. Micromax wants to differentiate itself through build quality as well as a clean build of Android, but is that enough to stand out in a highly crowded category? Let's find out. First up, the Micromax in 1B. The company's entry-level smartphone gets the basics right. The design looks great with a large 6.52-inch display that packs an HD Plus resolution and a notch at the top. Standout features include a USB-C port, which is not too common at this price point, as well as a dedicated Google Assistant shortcut key. The construction of the phone is unibody plastic, and Micromax has opted for a matte gradient finish at the back. We did the Phone 4. There's also a fingerprint reader at the back of the phone that is quick to unlock the device. Powering the phone is a MediaTek HELIO G35 processor that is paired with 4 GB of RAM, the 64 GB of storage. The MediaTek processor holds up just great in day-to-day use and even makes it better for multitasking. Web browsing, texting and social media use was not an issue at all, as the HELIO G35 is good enough. Unlike competing phones, Micromax is shipping the In1B with an almost stock build of Android 10. This means that there is no bloatware installed in the device, and it helps the phone run smoother in daily use. Talking about daily use, the large 5000 mAh battery ensures that the phone won't die out on you during a day of heavy use. However, the included 10-watt charger takes a long time to top up the battery, and you will want to charge the phone overnight. Now let's talk camera performance. The phone ships with a 13MP primary camera and a 2MP depth sensor, while over at the front is an 8MP camera. The camera performance was average, however low light performance is nothing special. All in all, the Micromax in 1B stands out for its processor as well as the use of a near stock Android build. The phone is priced starting at 6,999 rupees in India. Next we have the Micromax in Note 1. The Note 1 is Micromax going up against Xiaomi's popular Redmi Note series of phones. It differentiates itself through a distinctive design and the use of a clean Android build. But is that enough? Let's find out. The Micromax in Note 1 is a big phone, packing a large 6.6-inch display with a camera cutout towards the top. The display looks nicely saturated and makes media content pop. However, using the phone in one hand is nearly impossible. The construction here is all plastic, and Micromax has gone for a glossy finish, which is a fingerprint magnet. The X finish at the back of the phone looks striking, but it might not appeal to anyone who likes a more subdued design. The phone includes a fingerprint reader that is very well positioned and makes unlocking the phone a breeze. Over at the bottom is a USB-C port as well as a headphone jack. Meanwhile, the left side of the phone houses a dedicated Google Assistant key for quick access to Google's virtual assistant. The Micromax in Note 1 runs on a MediaTek HELIO G85 processor paired with 4 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. The octa-core chipset with a peak clock speed of 2 GHz makes short work of the latest games. The MediaTek HYPERENGINE further helps in enhancing the gaming experience by ensuring better sustained performance. The clean build of Android 10 further helps in keeping the phone nice and speedy. The lack of any bloatware or added apps is a great differentiator against the competition. Like most other phones in the category, the Micromax in Note 1 also includes a 5000 mAh battery which lasted us a full day of phone calls, texting, social media and more. And when it's time to charge, the included 18-watt charger is reasonably fast at topping up the phone. Finally, let's talk about cameras. The Micromax in Note 1 includes a 48MP primary camera paired with a 5MP ultra-wide sensor, a 2MP macro camera and a 2MP depth sensor. Over at the front is a 16MP shooter. Photos from the primary are good, especially in well-lit conditions. The phone does a good job at handling white balance, displays low noise and captures a decent amount of detail as well. However, the ultra-wide camera's resolution is a bit too low to be very useful. Finally, the macro camera was average at best. Overall, the Micromax in Note 1 is a strong first step by the company to make a comeback in the mid-range segment. Price starting 10,999 rupees, it doesn't necessarily beat the competition, but it does present itself as a high-quality alternative.